TJ Weber.
I am him. Get your ass on the air and let's pick something.
Big Web.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel.
Zach Zook.
Yeah, my pick's a bit shit this year.
Changing it. Oh, he's taking it off. Nick Yale. From the 50.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into this edition of From the 50. We are live for Week 18 of the NFL. I'm solo here in studio because we got a little snowstorm going on in the St. Louis area, but we got everybody on today. We have Big Web from the St. Louis, Missouri studios. We have Nick Yale all the way from Dallas, Texas. We have Zach Zook all the way from St. Louis, Missouri. And Ace also joining us here for Week 18 of the NFL. You guys get involved here on YouTube by commenting, letting us know your locks of the week, letting us know your parlays. This is a big-time week because it's the last week. We got a lot of games. It's kind of sad, but knowing that we got some good playoff games coming up, the excitement will continue. So let's start with Big Web. Sir, how are we today on this January 5th?
I'm great, buddy. I'm great. I love being snowed in. It's fun stuff. Hey, this week is so incentive-driven. This is the most exciting Week 18 I've ever seen.
Ever, really? See, Nick said it was the opposite. That's what I'm
curious
about.
It is pretty boring. I got nothing to watch today, but we are the fantasy champions, so we will just give a shout out to myself on that one.
Starting that early, are we? All right.
Congratulations to me.
Yeah, I went 1-1 in my fantasy championships. Had 2 last week, and the big league, the big money league, did not pay off. But what are you gonna do? I think I'm cursed. Who's the guy from the league that never won? Was it Kevin, who's also a commissioner? Which I'm the commissioner in that league.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of where we're at. So. Yeah, it is what it is.
You won our league, though, so, right?
I did win the Dynasty League. And then I have everybody saying we should redraft. I go, what are we talking about?
I know.
We're not redrafting.
I finished second. I finished, I think, third to last, second to last. That was my least one I paid attention to, so it definitely showed.
100%. Yeah, Zach Zook, did you have any fantasy championships last week?
Yeah, I went 0-0 in my fantasy championships last week. So, yeah, I'm in like 9 leagues, made it to the championship in 0 of them.
Nice.
Just a wealth of
9
football
leagues,
knowledge over
holy
here.
Shit. That's crazy.
I don't know. And it's not that much, but it fucking feels like it sometimes.
Wow, 9 is insane. Ace, did you make any fantasy championships?
When you're the one that gets when you're like the football friend, it's like anybody who needs an extra guy hits you up. And I always feel like a jerk not doing it. So I'm only in I think 2 money leagues, but yeah, I think I was in here. Let's count them. I think I was in 4 or 5 this year.
4 or 5. There you go. That's a lot. I have gone down to 2. I used to be in a lot more, and now I focus on 2, and it was the right move. It really was the right move.
I tried to keep it at 2, but you guys needed an extra guy, so I ended up joining your Dynasty League.
Yeah, for sure.
Problem.
It's good, though, because Dynasty, once you get a team that's good in the league, everybody else pays every year, it's like I just make money every year. It's fantastic. You just focus on one draft, and you're pretty much set.
I might have to sell my team in that league.
Oh, well, it is what it is. I mean, we don't want people bailing. We said that, and here comes Nick after year 1. He's gone. It's crazy. You guys get involved here on TikTok and on YouTube. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys watching. Biggest game of the year for Detroit Lions fans, for Minnesota Vikings fans coming up tonight, Sunday Night Football. Easily the biggest game since the NFC Championship. I'd say one of the biggest games in the last, 20 years for the Lions. I mean, this is everything. I'm not saying it's over. The dreams are done if they lose, but you get home field advantage, you get a bye week, and especially with how hurt they've been, this is everything tonight. We can discuss it more when we pick the game. I know Ace put that in the rundown. But guys, I mean, I'm nervous isn't the right word. It's more like I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. I know the Lions are good enough to win, but I know the Vikings just wouldn't go away all fucking season. So here we are. What are your thoughts on this?
So, TJ, remember you said all year long, Minnesota won't go away. They won't go away. All I need to do them is lose. Green Bay had them 2 weeks ago. They didn't get them. Remember, on your rearview mirror where you look at that mirror and it says objects in your mirror are closer than they appear?
Right.
That's happening right here. But, it's all because of Detroit's defense. But I think Detroit can still outscore them. It's going to be a fun football game. And, yeah, there's a lot riding. That's a big, big game tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Zook, as another NFC North team fan, I mean, what do you think on this game? I know you won't give your pick out yet, but I mean, I guess you're kind of unbiased. You sometimes lean towards the Lions because you have some family members that are fans. Obviously, you root with me sometimes, but what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, man. I hate the Bears, strongly dislike the Vikings, but we got Michigan family, so I really don't mind the Lions. I do think that it would be kind of hilarious if like the best season in history ended up in like a wild card. Like they're 14-2 right now.
They're both
is that the
14-2.
record?
Yes.
Like
yeah. So much so that Amon Ra, he has a podcast. I don't know if you guys saw his clip basically saying the NFL should, with seeding, do best records. Like obviously all the division winners get in, but then seeding wise, if you're 14-2 and you're a 5 seed, or it'd be 14-3, whoever loses tonight, and you're a 5 seed, that is kind of wild. Again, it's with the benefit of hindsight. You didn't know this was going to happen. Like, if anybody tells you the Lions are 14-3, but they're the 5th seed, you would have laughed, like thinking that's a joke.
Right.
Especially with Sam Darnold. I mean, look, I was texting you guys about Sam Darnold a lot this last week. I'm like, the fact that he has consistently just become a superstar quarterback in 1 year, number one, pisses me off. But number two, I just don't understand how that even happened. You look at his Football Reference, and we broke it down for about, I don't know how many texts. It's like, this is insane. It really is.
Yeah, the fact that Sam Darnold and the Vikings have played as well as they have all year, I think this is a credit to Kevin O'Connell. And there was a lot of situations that the Vikings were running through, and today we'll find out if the luck runs out or if it's one of those situations where the Vikings are for real. Today's the time where they can actually prove whether they are that team and beat the Lions. Earlier in the season, it was a 2-point game, I think, last time when the Lions won. So that's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to – I literally think this game is – and I would be interested to see what you guys think as well – that this game just comes down to who has the ball last. Because last time we saw the Vikings get out to a little bit of an early lead, Detroit figured it out, made probably some better adjustments in the second quarter and then in the second half to win the game. But I think this is going to come down to who has the ball at the end of the game. It was less than a field goal last time. I think it'll probably be right around there. I think the spread's 3.5, or is it 3?
Down to 2.5.
It's down to 2.5 now.
Yep.
Down to 2.5. So yes, I mean it's right there is what the last game was. Last game Lions won 31-29 back in October, week 6, I think it was. So it's definitely going to be a close one. But it's my point being though that it's the Vikings' time to prove whether they're for real or are they actually contender or are they pretender. If they win this game today, I think they have a real shot to make some noise in the NFC. I mean, any team can win once you get in, but I think this is their time to prove it. For the Lions, you're the team that's probably going in expected to win this game, and if they do, I mean, more credit to them. But boy, would that suck for Lions fans having a great season and then end up as a wild card. And I do think after this year, I don't know after this year, but I do think that eventually they move it to like the NBA does, where they reseed after the regular season. Because like you go 14-2 or 14-3, whatever it is, like for what, to be a wild card, like.
The over-under for this Lions-Vikings game is 56.5. The next highest this week is the Panthers and Falcons at 48.5.
Yeah,
Dang.
That's crazy. My thing is, you saw how they changed NFL rules based on what happens the year before, like the Bills and Chiefs game, the 13-second rule, getting to overtime. Sorry to bring it up again, Ace. I know you're a Bills guy. But, like, the overtime stuff with the fact that the Bills just had no shot after losing the coin toss, they changed those rules in the playoffs. Do you think, I mean, something like this that's never, I don't think it's happened before as far as I know, where two division foes are, like, this close. I wonder if they will think about seeding because of something like this. So maybe not this fast, maybe not next year, but anyway, just something to think about.
I kind of hope not. And hear me out. I just think that it makes the playoffs that first weekend or two more interesting for the fans. I feel like we get better matchups earlier on. This is also, I feel like, a very rare occurrence. I don't recall in recent memory a team that was like 14-2, 13-3, having to be the wild card. And usually if you're the 5, yes, you're going on the road, but you're facing a team that you're going to be a road favorite against. So typically we still get those teams move on, but the fact that they go on the road at least gives you a little bit of intrigue and reason to watch on the wild card round. Because it's like, well, They're going up against a division champion on the road. Like, I think that the way it works right now is good. And if it's not broke, don't fix it, because you see the changes that they're making to the college football playoff. Like, I don't know if you guys want to get into that, but it's been atrocious. We got had like 1 or 2 good games over the holidays, but that thing needs major reform. So I like the format. I think that the addition of the 7th team maybe it screws the 2 seed, but it definitely gives you some more games on wild card weekend. So I kind of like the way it works.
What you're really talking about is divisions. Like, look at the South. You know, what's Tampa? If Tampa wins that division today, what are they going to be? 9-8, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So they'll be seated higher. It's just it's stacked right now. The North is stacked, and look, 5 years from now, the South might be stacked. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I
agree.
I think over time it just kind of depends. You know, there's waves of good teams and bad teams, and right now the NFC North just has a lot of the good teams in it. You know, but like you said, I don't think you could switch it around and discredit those teams that go out and win their division. You know, even if it is a 9-7 or 9-8 record. Because again, at the end of the day, you still won your division, so there should be to win your division and then maybe be pushed into a wild card spot seems a little bit silly. We see that in the MLB, right? One team has to play in that wild card situation. So I think leaving it how it is, I agree with Zook. It's like the matchups stay the same, but you know, you never know. They may switch to the NBA and format where they do reseed, but I think for right now, it's gonna be a fun time because I think these games matter at the end of the year. We have a week 18 game that actually matters. You know, that's fun. You get an extra week.
Yeah.
It's essentially a playoff game. Exactly. So, you know, in a week 18 that sure has incentives and whatever for people that bet, that's a lot of fun, but fantasy playoffs are over. Like if you're the average Joe football fan, like right now, that's the game you're looking forward to tonight. And at least they have one playoff game today during a week 18 that's otherwise pretty meaningless.
Nick is bored, man. Nick is bored today. He's bored as hell today.
Just bored. I'm gonna go grocery shop, to the laundry.
Be an adult. How about that?
And then settle in for the Sunday night game.
By the way, if you hear a baby crying, yes, there's a baby in the studio. My daughter is another co-host today. If you see me walk off screen on TikTok, or if you see this nice 3-shot on YouTube, you know I have to go take care of my kids. So just a heads up.
She's bored by week 18 too, you know, and just letting us hear it.
Man.
She's acting like I will act if the Lions lose tonight. That's what's going on. Let's see. Let's read some comments. I'm a Packers fan, but they're pretenders. I don't know if he meant Lions, Vikings, or Packers from that.
I think he's talking Packers, and I kind of agree.
Yeah,
as a fellow Packers fan.
Now
that said, let's be true fans here, thick and thin.
Yeah.
But they did win the Super Bowl as a 6th seed, and they looked kind of like shit going into those playoffs. So,
all right, let me read a couple more comments, then I'll let you boys take it for a second. Let's see. Only the 3rd time 2 teams play for conference 1 seed final week and first-time division rivals. That's from Norid. Yeah, that's huge. It really is an interesting, interesting thing. This is just a wild year. I mean, both teams are so dang good. So
I got TikTok up. I can read a couple of these while you dip. Addison over 100 yards, scoring 2 tutties today. Minnesota winning by 9. Go Vikes. Lions fan mad as hell. The Vikings spent on $1 million on ticket in Detroit for Vikings fans. Yeah, they spent a lot of money.
I saw that story.
Only 3rd time 2 teams play for conference 1 seed final week and first time division rivals. Yeah, I mean it's a good game. Zach Ertz over Jonnu Smith or Chig over Jonnu or just start Jonnu. I think just start Jonnu, right?
Yeah, start Jonnu. The Jets are absolutely terrible against tight ends, and he's been so good all year.
Talking about incentives, though, I do know Zach Ertz has a fair bit of incentives today.
9 catches, 90 yards, I think, and 2 touchdowns. He just did 2 touchdowns 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Ertz with 9+ receptions is $250,000, 90+ yards, another $250,000, and 2+ touchdowns is another $250,000. So he can get $750,000 today.
That's okay. So I mean, I still think you start Jonnu though. He's been, I mean, a tight end, a merchant in the end zone. They are playing in New York and Miami. He hasn't played well in cold weather. So take that for what you
know.
will.
What I find so hilarious about the Jonnu Smith thing is they're paying their receivers like $60 million a year or something like that, like between Tyreek and Waddle. and they just throw screens to Jonnu Smith the whole game. It's hilarious.
That is, yeah. I mean, you got these all-star wide receivers, and then just Jonnu Smith is the end zone.
Yeah, and then they run A-Chan on the outside on like these deep posts. It's like, what are we doing?
You could see Ravens versus Steelers and Bills versus Bengals in one around in NFL playoff this year. I don't know what that kind of. I guess they're saying what the matchups are going to be earlier on in the playoffs. Well, those are TikTok comments. Good morning, N Master. A lot of Lions fans in here today. A lot of Vikings fans too. Everybody that's, like I said, everyone's centered on this one game tonight. But other games in the NFL, boys, what do you guys think? Any other storylines you want to hit on before we do picks?
Let me ask you guys something here. When you do have a guy like Ertz that needs money incentive, we all seen the TikTok or Facebook, whatever it was, where Gronk goes, I need a milli, I got a milli. When Brady throws him that one more pass that he needed. How much is the team involved, like sitting in the locker room right now going, we're going to get you your money, dude. We're going to get you covered. Is that really happening right now?
I think it is probably for the players. I think, the quarterback, especially knowing what their receiver incentives are for their tight ends and their receivers, I think the quarterbacks are more inclined to take control of that. And, they can audible at the line and they can also contribute to calling plays. But I think they're more or less the ones that are maybe going up to the OC or talking to the coach on the sideline, like, hey, let's draw a play up here for Ertz in the end zone on the next drive type of situation, especially in these games when they are meaningless games or, when they're thinking about pulling the starters in certain situations. A lot of times a lot of games this week, a lot of starters aren't even playing. With those guys with incentives, I think, the quarterbacks, I think, are probably, going to get their offensive guys fed if they can, for sure.
Some of this money's real, man. I mean, Evans, 5 receptions, 85 yards, $3 million.
Yeah.
Gino, 185 passing yards today, $2 million. I mean, hell, I'm playing both of those. Those seem achievable, and there's huge money for those guys.
Especially if you're in the player prop market and betting on some of these player prop apps that have a lot of these lines available. These are the ones incentives. Look at these incentives this week and bet accordingly. I think that's what you have to look at. This is for the bettor out there, the average bettor out there. This is a great weekend to make money because, I mean, some of these lines are going to be pretty telling. Certainly, a lot of them are going to be traps, and a lot of them are like a Mike Evans is going to be bet pretty heavy when he's been hitting his receiving yards pretty much every week in, week out since he's came back and been healthy. And you're talking about Tampa Bay playing for the division today with Baker. You're expecting those guys to go out there at 14.5-point favorites to be feeding him the ball the whole game. Like, him to score a touchdown is probably juice max on the books right now.
Mike Evans needs 5 catches and 85 yards for $3 million. So, he's going to be getting the ball.
And what is Mike Evans right now to go over 100 yards? I don't know if you guys want to look at blue or green at all. I'll check out blue and see what that his yards are at for that game, but I'm sure it's not.
Cortland Sutton is facing a bunch of Chiefs backups. His line is set at 76.5, but with 82 receiving yards, he gets $2 million.
So look at this. Zach Ertz, over 90 and 2 touchdowns, plus 3,500. That's crazy. They're not giving Ertz much credit at all.
You can get, what'd you say the number on Evans was? 85?
Yeah,
Evans
85 yards and 5 catches for $3 million.
So 90-plus yards for Evans on blue is minus 142. Not bad money. 100-plus on alternate line is plus 100 for Evans to go over 100, and over 110 is plus 138. So you're actually getting some decent value there on Mike Evans. 125 and more is plus 220. I mean, you're getting a interesting spot for, potential player prop, and him to score an anytime touchdown is probably juiced out the wazoo too, but let's see. Minus 150, a little bit, but
if you just put Evans with over 6.5 catches, which is what he needs right near there, it's minus 105 for that parlay. Gino, he needs like 185. The only thing I could get on Green Book is 200. Gino over 200 and Seahawks money line, because he also gets an incentive if they win the game. That's minus 170. But that freaking Ertz is huge. And then the pipsqueak today needs a touchdown and 50 rushing yards.
The pipsqueak.
Hey, Big Web, I don't know if you peeped the chat, but I'm
for him are $750,000.
Wow. What's that, Duck?
I don't know if you took a look at the chat before we got on, but I think it's for like the first time this year I'm riding the pipsqueak.
All right.
Could you imagine though some of these teams like stupidness on TikTok just said Seahawks are playing David Krieg as quarterback for the second half to save $2 million on Geno. I wonder if do you think teams would fuck any of these players and just on their incentives? I feel like maybe not, because that would be
an all-time cheap move.
It would be an all-time cheap move, but also it would kind of affect the locker room situation.
Yeah, it would be bad. I don't recall a situation where they had
intentionally were like, nah, fuck you, we're benching you in the second half.
Typically, it's the opposite. The coaching staff tries to get him more carries or whatever in the last game.
I don't think it's intentional, but today the Bills have Teron Johnson and Daquan Jones inactive. Teron Johnson needed 1 interception for $250,000, and Daquan Jones needed half a sack for $250,000.
That's tough. That's tough. And see, I mean, again, in some of these situations with the GM and the coach, it's not their fucking money, so who cares? Like at that point, it's the owner's money.
Well, the problem is that it affects the salary cap, because some of these, some are accounted for if they're likely to be earned, but if it was listed as not likely to be earned, that's not taken account into their salary cap, so that affects them for next year.
I wonder how many situations there are like that where bonuses come into play when they're looking at being over salary cap and stuff like that. Not to be boring here, but
Ace, do you know? I got a nerd question on the cap. Do you know? Because typically teams will go into the year with like $2.5 million, $3 million in cap space for stuff like this. Street free agent signings throughout the year of guys that got released or waiver claims. Do you know if you said that affected the cap next year? Are you saying that if they get the incentive today, like let's say the Teron Johnson one was unlikely to be earned if he got an interception today, you're saying that would go on the cap for next year?
So there's some different ways it can affect it. One, if they get it now and they have it again next year, it can change it from unlikely to be earned to likely to be earned, and then they have to count it. But there's also, like, the cap technically rolls over a little bit if you have some left in there. So now, if you had 500,000 left, and it's like, all right, well, I got to give him this 250 that now I have less next year or whatever. So, like, there's some of that stuff. I don't.
We're talking 250K. It's not the difference in like signing a pass rusher or not. But
like $3 million for Mike Evans, like that's a big deal. Whether you have $3 million this year or next year. Like,
we're talking incentives.
Yeah, we're talking incentives and we're talking cap.
I think. Did you guys talk about the who was it? I sent a text the other day. The receiver from the Broncos, Cortland Sutton. $2 million incentive if he gets 82 yards. So I took plus over 80 receiving yards. I mean,
yeah, we were just talking about Mike Evans and Geno Smith and Zach Ertz player props. And the pipsqueak.
Pipsqueak needs a touchdown and 50 rushing yards.
Pipsqueak needs touchdown 50.
Okay. Well, I'm curious to see what other people are taking then as far as those incentives. Because, I mean, it seems like a lot of people will do that. But the Cortland Sutton one especially really stood out to me because the Chiefs are sitting a bunch of starters. Broncos have to win to make the playoffs. Apparently, Sean Payton has helped player incentives in the past, but I don't know if he's going to be locked in on that today because it's all playoffs or bust today. So I don't know if they really care about that, but I don't know. Something tells me that they're going to try to, I don't know, they're going to go to Cortland Sutton a lot. So I took a shot at it, but.
You know what I was laughing about just now, guys? We've been talking about the incentives. We've referred to him as Pipsqueak like 4 times. I wonder if anybody stumbled onto the show today. We haven't referred to him once by name. Like, who the hell are they talking about?
Who the hell is Pipsqueak?
Yeah. Well,
the OGs know.
The OGs know. You also don't know exactly because Big Web calls, who's it, Bryce Young, Kyler Murray. Is there anybody else? Like,
does he call Bryce Young that?
I think Bryce Young's in that.
Kyler K1 is the.
Yeah, Kyler is Pipsqueak.
He's the resident Pipsqueak.
/ who he's referring to during this scenario.
100%.
So on these incentive things, the only other point is what the hell? I mean, Barkley, I don't know if there was an incentive there, but he could have led he could have broke Dickerson's record.
Yeah.
Did he make that call to get off the field this week, or did the team?
Sirianni did.
Yeah, I think he's okay with that though. Like he always says, like
they went and they asked him. Sirianni went and asked Barkley, and he said no, he didn't want to play.
Yeah, they have a clip of him doing that this earlier this season. He was gonna, I forgot what he was gonna break. It wasn't that record. It was earlier this year.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Usually Saquon has not cared about breaking the records. He basically said if Sirianni would usually tell Sirianni, do whatever you want and I'll play. If you want me to, I won't play. If you don't want me to.
Right.
Type of situation. But in this situation, yeah, there's probably going into the playoffs and everything, get an extra week of rest to get healthy. Like, I think he probably cares more about going out and winning a Super Bowl and taking the extra week off of being able to get treatment and rest is massive right now if you can get it for these teams that are going into the playoffs.
Someone's asking, does Kyler need a touchdown?
He might have another shot. He might have another shot at it. He's so talented. He might do it 2 years from now. He might get 200 yards.
Someone's asking, does Kyler need a touchdown for his incentive? What is his incentive today?
I think he does.
It's
Okay.
a 1 rushing touchdown and 50 rushing yards.
Okay, 1
With
rushing
all
touchdown,
rushing
50
plays.
rushing
So
yards.
Kyler Murray anytime touchdown.
Interesting.
And the money is, let's see what the money is here.
He gets $750,000.
Wow.
If he gets it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Fucking
It's a lot of COD points.
Nice.
Let's
Great
see.
minds, Nick. Great minds.
Augusto says Vikings are dominating the Lions today. Someone ban him from the chat, please. Bills Lions Super Bowl this year. That's from Drexel. That's what we're all kind of rooting for, I think. Christina says Skull Vikings. Ban her as well. I'm all kidding. It's all good. A lot of Vikings fans popping in here, actually.
Yeah, a lot of Vikings fans.
Mainly
I thought
Lions.
we
And,
had somebody that's going to the game, a Lions fan that's going to the game.
is that right? Wow, we got to get phone lines back. I'd love to have them call in. That'd be fun. That was my original. I mean, we haven't had time to do that, but I really want people to call in from like tailgates next year. I think that would be an absolute blast. I think that would be a really cool part of the show. Have we talked standings or picks yet at all, boys?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. So, Ace, do you have it pulled up? Do you want to do it, or do you want me to read the standings?
Yeah, I can do it. I also have our CBS Pick'em standings since we're in Week 18. It goes through the Super Bowl, but this is kind of the last week to make a big run.
Right.
Gigi is in first after getting 13 wins last week.
Wow. Very nice. Very nice.
Joe
Gigi.
Allen's in second. Paul Evans third. Amanda Clemens in fourth. Only 2 wins behind, so still a chance there to get a jersey.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I like that. That's
So
good.
CBS
I mean,
going well.
I think these CBS pickers are better than us. Like the audience usually does better because 13 wins a week. I don't think any of us would be even close. We only picked 7 on our picks, but have we had
And
any
we go
7-0s this year? Zook had 1, right?
I came close.
I had one like 2 weeks ago.
I had
3
no
weeks
and
ago.
7.
Tolly had a 10-1.
Who's Tolly? Is he?
Or
he
Ace
picks-
had a 10 and I mean, yeah. Tolly's twin brother Ace had 10-1.
Oh, okay.
Former
Good. Yeah.
producer
Ace,
used to be Buffalo Bills fan.
Yeah. It runs in the family. They're Bills fans. They're all family. That's basically what they are. Let's see. I like the Lions' defense is at about 80%. It was from earlier this season. The Vikings are healthy. Yeah, let's whatever. We'll talk about it when we pick it. When we pick the game.
Chill out.
I've heard it all. We'll talk about it later. Okay, so then as far as overall standings for the panel, Ace, what do we got?
TJ, you're in first.
course.
70, 51, and 2.
It's just a hell of
You
a
were
year,
whopping
gentlemen.
3 and 4 last week.
Yeah, we're
I
worrying
am
about
in
overall.
second. Yeah, I'm in second. 66, 54, and 3. I was 5 and 2 last week. Nick, 64, 57, and 2 in third place.
Not bad.
4 and 3
Right,
last
right.
week. Zook, 62, 60, and 1. He was 5 and 2 last week.
We needed it.
Big Web, 52, 70, and 1.
He's
A
signing the
whopping
board,
2
folks.
and
He's going to sign it.
5
He clinched.
last week.
It's close. It's close. He's going to do it.
Also-
I'm not saying it's mathematically over, but I am practicing my cursive right now.
Yeah.
Big
We
Web, if,
all missed our dog last week, but we all hit our lock.
Hey,
There
there we
you
go.
go.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
locks were locked in last week. Big Web, you honestly should go against Zook today. I know we usually say that you shouldn't do it, but everybody does it at the end of the year. Like, that's your only shot. You need to go 7-0, and he goes 0-7, have a shot.
That makes me want to pick the Lions then.
That is up to our host to go to Zook first. It's the only chance I have.
Zook usually is
I'm
first.
fine with it. Yeah,
All
that's kind of my role on this show.
Yeah, Zook's kind of the leadoff batter, so like that's kind of what we'll keep with. But I'm interested to see your strategy on this. It'll be good. But yeah, Big Web. I mean, look, 5 and 12 on dogs, 4 and 11 and 2 on dogs for Ace. A lot of us haven't really stood out on locks. I'm 11-6, 10-7 for Ace, Nick, and Zook. Big Web 8-9. So it's all about overall at this point. And again, it's funny on this show. You feel good when you win the number one overall, the whole championship here. But the only thing you don't want to do is sign the damn board. That's the whole thing. So, 1 through 4 is basically like winning pretty much out of this group. Speaking
of signing the board, just Nick, I haven't signed it yet. Tell me how it feels. You got the most experience there. What do you think?
No comment.
That is true. Back-to-back years, too, I believe. No, Ace was in the middle of that one, but still, two side by side. I'm looking at it right now. It's glorious. 2 Nick Yale signings. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to the picks. We have 7 games that we pick against the spread. We have 4 main games, our toilet bowl game of the week, our dogs of the week, and our locks of the week, picked by our great producer, Ace. So, Ace, where are we starting at here in Week 18?
So this week was so hard to find 4 games that really mattered that weren't on Saturday. So first game, we're going to take the Chicago Bears, who are taking on the Green Bay Packers. Packers are minus 10.5.
Let's go to Zook.
I'm gonna go ahead and take the Packers still, even though they're minus 10.5. If it got too much more, I was gonna take the Bears, but after the embarrassing loss, I think that this team really is gonna come out actually pretty focused today. Not a great chance, but they still can get the 6 seed instead of the 7. With a win and a Washington loss against Dallas, divisional opponent. Stuff gets weird on this weekend. So I think they'll come out pretty focused, trying to make a statement before the playoffs. So I'll take the Packers. I do not feel good about it. 10.5 is too much in my opinion. But I just don't want to pick the Bears on the road.
Big Web?
Week 18.
This paper, I thought it said Packers earlier, but it does say Bears. It's Bears. Bears.
He's going with the strategy. Nick?
I need to win a couple games here, and gain some ground on TJ. So hopefully he's on the opposite side. I don't like being on the same side as Big Web, and I never said I'd bet on the Chicago Bears, but it is Week 18. These are meaningless games. 10.5 is a lot of points, so I'll take Chicago.
Ace?
I'm going to go with Zook. 10.5 is a lot of points, but I'm taking the Packers. They really need to win this and not end up as the 7th seed and having to play Minnesota or Detroit in the first round.
Well, I hate agreeing with anybody who's in last place and Nick at any point, but I'm going to take the Bears plus 10.5. I don't know. The Green Bay really let me down last week. I mean, my God, I just think they're frauds. I thought they'd give me
both, buddy.
Dude, I thought they would give the Vikings at least a game. Wasn't even close. And anyway, I'm going to take the Bears plus 10.5. The hook is scary if you're taking the Packers. So give me the Bears on the road. Why not? What do we got next?
We have the Washington Commanders, who are going to Dallas. Washington minus 7.
All right, Zook.
Yeah, give me Washington. Packers aren't that lucky. That's pretty much my analysis.
Big Web.
Zach Ertz has all kinds of incentives here today, and what a great quarterback Williamson is. So how about you give me Dallas?
All right, there you go. Nick?
Who'd you say the quarterback was?
Williams.
He's not playing in this game. It's Jaden Daniels that's in this
Caleb
one.
Williams got traded to Washington last week. He's
I took the other team then.
Yeah, it's good that we're taking the Washington football team / Commanders, whatever the hell you want to call them these days, and the rookie of the year, Jaden Daniels. Cowboys are a rat shit organization.
Ace.
Wow.
I'm also taking Washington. They've said they're playing their whole starters the entire game unless it gets out of hand. So they should take this one pretty easily.
I don't care who's starting for Washington, whether it's Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams. I'm going to take the Commanders here. Dallas is terrible, and everybody's either hurt or their season's done. Nobody cares. So give me Washington minus 7. They'll cover this easy. And if we get a push, we get a push. At this point, I'm kind of coasting to the championship. All right, game 3. What do we got?
We have the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Raiders. Chargers are minus 6.5.
I'm sorry, who are they taking on again?
The Raiders.
The Raiders. There you go. Thank you, Nick. All right,
Ace has the voice changer. He could have really a missed opportunity.
Ace, one more time. Come on, give us a good one here.
The Raiders.
There we go. We're rock and rolling now, Week 18. All right, go ahead, Zook.
I just want to hear a good one because I don't think they're going to get said very often. I'm going to take the Chargers.
That's an astute observation, sir. That's a good thing. I agree with that. Do you have a reason why you're taking the Chargers, or just because it's the Raiders?
Well, they're playing Herbert, and they're playing the starters today, and the Raiders are horrendous. Also, dome team traveling on the road, but they get to play in a dome, so I don't think the home field advantage is very good for the Raiders today.
All right, Big Web?
Nobody's gone 7-0 this year, so I can't go against Zook every time. Chargers.
All right, going with the Chargers. Nick?
Chargers got something to play for. We will go with the Chargers.
Ace?
I'm also on the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm on the Chargers too. And clean sweep. It's the Raiders. Nothing else needs to be said. They need a top pick. Didn't really care for the Giants last week. They played their asses off. 42 points against my defense. It started the Colts minus 4 points in fantasy championship. So love you, Drew Lock. But there you go. Clean sweep on the Los Angeles Chargers.
That helped me win my fantasy championship.
Did it? Oh, congratulations. Malik Neighbors, I guess. Neighbors helped win me the other one, so I can't be mad. All right, finally, we got game of the week. Minnesota at Detroit. Lions minus 2.5. Zook, where are we going?
All right, moment of truth has finally arrived. I'm going with the Detroit Lions. I think that they have a little bit of Team of Destiny vibes to them. I went back and forth with it, but, under a field goal, this is a team that, I think was not a favorite, but definitely in the mix to make a Super Bowl. I think that they can make the Super Bowl. So I'm just, as a fan, excited to watch Brian Flores and Ben Johnson go up against each other today, and then I hope they both get hired the fuck out of the division for next year. But for the game tonight, I think that the Lions offense is just too much, man. I think that's what it's about, the Lions offense.
Big Web?
Tonight's in Detroit. It's a home team. It's huge. And this Darnold experiment is getting darn old.
Okay.
I like Detroit tonight. I'm sticking with it. Give me Detroit, even though Zook's taking them.
All right, Nick?
Yeah, they've been the team all year. We've been riding. It's the team of the show. It's America's team. We'll go with Detroit.
Ace?
Well, Buffalo is America's team, but
Knock it off.
I'm going to take the Detroit Lions as well. Anzalone's back. They're at home under a field goal. I'll take the Lions.
Just get it done. Just get it done.
Omen.
Bad omen.
Clean sweep doesn't matter in this game. Just get it done. This is you know what? I'm okay with this because I know how this game's going to go. There's no blowout either way. It's going to be last couple minutes type of thing that's going to decide it. If the Lions win by 1, they win by 1. I don't care. I don't care about losing the pick. I'm going to take the Lions minus 2.5, obviously. This is a playoff game. I mean, this is 100% a playoff game. Like, you prove everything tonight. You're in Ford Field. You let Gibbs just be the bell cow back he's got to be, and you take your shots when you can. You're the better team. You truly are the better team. You got a lot of injuries going on. Just Sam Darnold, just turn into Jets Sam Darnold for like a second. Just throw one bad pick, and that's all we need. Jared Goff can score 35 points, no problem, and they take this. But this is such a fucking massive game. I'm going to be glued to my TV tonight, obviously. I'm not nervous, but I just... it's good.
You don't sound nervous.
Not nervous at all. Not at all. But God, it's gonna be a great game.
Your butt doesn't sound puckered even a little bit.
No. I am very confident, but it's just these fucking Vikings, man. They're up there now with the Packers and Bears, my most hated teams in the NFC North. That's the entire division. But Packers have been number 1. Vikings are up there now. It's just go away. One time. Just go away. All right, toilet bowl game of the week. What do we got, Ace?
We have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are minus 3.5.
All right, Zook.
Yeah, Joe Flacco getting the start today. I kind of like Indy. Just with how they've had so much negative press with the McAfee thing. Have you guys been following that?
Oh yeah,
a little bit.
So I always feel like when a team gets, one of two things happen when you get to a situation like this. They just quit. But being that in this case the drama is literally about their heart and desire to play the game and represent the city, I think they actually come out and give a good effort in a meaningless spot. So I'll take the Colts.
All right, Big Web.
I am not taking the Colts. I'm going against Zook. That's all I got to say.
Okay, Nick. Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
He
All
said
right.
he said that he had to run, but that his picks were in the dock. My guess would be that he's taking the Jagwagon. Can Ace confirm that?
He is taking his Jaguars to win.
Yeah,
this game.
what a shock.
And Big Web, you said you're taking Jacksonville, correct?
Yes, please.
Okay. Ace, what do you got?
I am with Zook. I'm taking the Colts. I don't think Jacksonville really cares. Their coach is already going to be gone anyway. At least in Indianapolis, they're kind of still fighting for jobs. I think they'll try to win.
I'm going to take Jacksonville because I hate Indy. They have screwed me over and over and over this year. Gave up 1 million points to the Giants. That guy should get fired on the spot for that performance. Holy shit. I hate the Colts. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 3.5 because for some reason Mac Jones likes to also cover against me all the time. So hopefully he covers for me today, and I'll take him plus 3.5. What a disgusting game.
Horrendous.
So bad. All right, dogs of the week. Look, what do you got?
My dog of the week, I'm going out to Houston. Unfortunately, I have to watch and root for Davis Mills, the guy with the like 1,000,000-foot-long neck. So
who's got a better
But you
neck,
know what?
Mike Glennon or Davis Mills?
I think Mike Glennon still takes
Mike
the cake.
Glennon's
but
the neck
Davis
god,
Mills
man.
cut from the same cloth for show.
They gotta be related at some
Bobblehead
point.
of that guy.
It's insane.
So
Not
I'll
do a
take
bobblehead
Houston.
of That guy. No way.
All right, Big Web.
I'm going with New Orleans. 14.5 points.
Oh, my
I
God.
thought we'd get a line check maybe, but
Yeah, it's 14.5. Zook, your Texans are plus 2.5.
that's a lot of points, and I sure could love. I'd love to see Tampa lose this football game.
No
today. Not
shit, you would.
It's all about his fucking
I
Falcons
know,
division bet.
That's what it's all about.
It says he hates the Saints today.
It's still a lot of points, though. Still a lot of points,
They're
baby.
so bad. Only team in the NFL to get shut out, and they were shut out by the Packers, who then gave up 1 million points to the Vikings the next week.
Listen, we all do this, but like Big Web is 100% saying he loves the Saints because he needs the Bucks to lose for the Falcons to have a shot. That's it.
I just like the commitment to the bit, Big Web. I love it.
Why does it always
This
go
is
back to
the
the Falcons?
NFL.
Every single week, it goes back to the Falcons. Every week. It doesn't
the
matter. It could be a
NFL,
single game. It
14.5
could be the whole year.
points.
It's always the Falcons. Every day. Every day.
14.5 points. NFL. What the hell?
It's insane. It really is insane at this point. So does that mean that you lock in and go against the Saints today and take the Bucks by 1 million? Because even it's like the Falcons adjacent bet. Like he's cursed with the Falcons. He's cursed when it has something to do with the Falcons. I think you take the Bucks by 1 million today
I actually have a parlay with Tampa today.
as a cover.
On both sides. To cover, yeah.
I'm saying as a cover. Yeah. Anyway, I get it. Just crazy. Nick has San
Wait,
Francisco.
wait. So you're picking the Saints as your favorite underdog,
Right.
plus 14.5. Yet you have the Bucks in a parlay.
Brought it down to 6.5.
So you can hit both.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. But
So
yeah.
he's the crazy guy that's just rooting for Tampa Bay to
Everything
win
that
by
happened.
7.
It's like all I need
Yeah.
is this, a pick 6, but he has to make the extra point because he needs to win by 7, not 6. It's that whole deal. Nick has San Francisco plus 4.5. Ace, what do you got?
I'm taking the New England Patriots plus 3.5. They're actually trying. The Bills have 8 starters that are inactive. They're going to have more that don't play. Josh Allen's going to take 1 snap, hand the ball off, and walk off the field. So I think the Patriots can be within a field goal here, if not win. I mean, Mitch Trubisky's not a very good player.
Yeah. Talk to me about the Niners real quick. Are they sitting a lot of starters today, I guess? What's the deal?
Purdy
I
out.
don't, Purdy's out.
Purdy's out. That
I don't
tells
even-
you a lot.
Who's healthy for them to play?
True. All right. Give me Chicago plus 10.5. I'm going to double up. It's a disgusting double up, but I'm going to do it. I hate the dogs this week. There's a lot of tough dogs this week. Big time tough dogs.
It's just a tough week in
And that's the
general.
other reason I took the 14 points.
No, I
Right
get
there.
it. I get it. But it's the Saints and Spencer Rattler. Is it Spencer Rattler or who's the other guy's name? Rattler. Yeah.
Rattler.
Okay. Either way, but I'll take Chicago plus 10.5. I don't know. I mean, at this point, like Caleb could ball out a little bit. Packers. I hate the Packers for what they did to me last week. So this might just be I'm pissed off. I'm going to take the other team. That type of thing. But 10.5 seems like a lot divisional game. But it is the Bears. But whatever. I'll take them plus 10.5 and hope for the best. All right, locks of the week. What do we got, Zook?
I had a tough time with this because I actually thought about Frisco as the dog before, just because, like you mentioned, some of the games are so screwy. Like, there's only like a handful that I even felt comfortable picking. But then when I read that Purdy was out, and yeah, with all the injuries, I kind of came to the same conclusion you did, TJ. It's like, I can't pick these guys. So, in fact, I'm going to pick the Cardinals to end on a high note. I just feel like with the incentive with Kyler Murray, they want some positive momentum going into the offseason. This has been a nightmare year for the Niners, who are just wanting it to end. So I don't feel great about it, but I'll take the pipsqueak today at home.
Big Web?
So I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks. The Rams are resting everybody, including like McVay's not even calling plays today. And then Geno needs 185 passing yards. Jimmy G starting for the Rams. Give me Seattle.
You got him right at 7, Big Web. No
7. Yeah. I can see a push there. Let's see. Nick's got Tampa minus 14.5 going right against Big Web on that one.
Nice.
And then Ace, what do you got?
I'm going to take the Jets minus 1.5 at home against the Dolphins. Dolphins hate playing in cold weather. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is trying to lose his very last game ever, most likely. He still needs to get that 500th passing touchdown. I think the Jets could get it done today.
This could not have been a worse, so my thing is, isn't Miami still alive, or are they out now that the Bengals won?
No. I think technically there might be a way that they can get in, but it's so screwed.
Okay.
They're playing Tyler Huntley, maybe Skylar Thompson. They're not.
I figured it was a long shot, but I saw them in the hunt, so I was curious. Kyle says, is that his actual voice? It is. It is Ace's actual voice, actually.
Well, except when he swallowed that apple. It was before that. It was different.
That's right.
By the way, once we get done with the picks, I have the playoff scenarios pulled up. If you want me to tell.
Let's lock in on that. And then we got to do our Big Web's best bet of the week, and we got to do our Hail Mary. I'm taking the Lions minus 2.5. I mean, this is it. This is a playoff game today. It's like I said, it doesn't seal the fate of the season, but you go from home field advantage, first round bye, to playing every single game on the road. It's everything today. And I can't believe that they're here right now, but you control your own destiny. Win the damn game, do what you got to do, get it done. You're the better team. I'm ready for this one. I'm going to be fired up, obviously, and hopefully not waking up the whole house with screaming either obscenities because I'm upset or excited. But God, it's going to be a great fucking game. Go Lions, minus 2.5. Let's lock in, doubling up on them, and get the job done. Let's do it. All right, there you go.
NFC North double up.
NFC North double up. I don't think I've doubled up on them at all this year. Maybe once, but I usually let it kind of go with one pick. This is the one you got to double up on. This is it.
Double. That's awesome.
Double. Hell of a game coming. I mean, I'm really I'm fired up about it. You guys get involved. Go ahead. What'd you say?
You can't wait. You can't wait till 5 o'clock.
I know. I don't want to wish time away. It's the last week of the season, with all the games on. But man, I mean, like Nick said, it's not the greatest week 18, and you got the biggest game of the year. Sunday Night Football. You guys can let us know what your thoughts are on TikTok and also on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do have the great Colby Wedwick, who's been watching for the last few years. Avid Vikings fans saying, lock of the week, Vikings ML, Skull baby, Lions are ass. Let's ban Colby from the chat, please. Biggest regular season game of our lives. KOC Coach of the Year is the answer why Darnold is a stud. Yeah, I know KOC is the reason Darnold's, I don't want to talk about it. It's going to be a hell of a game. Listen, Let's go. Let's lock in, Colby. If you want to do a little side wager as well, I don't have to exactly do money, but we can do whatever you want to do. A little side wager on money line either way. Vikings, Lions. Let me know, and we'll get that going for sure. So I'm excited about that. What do we got next?
I'll mediate. I'll be the bookie between you two. Whatever
That's fine.
it is.
That's fine. You take a percentage or no?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Zook, you said you had playoff scenarios.
Yeah. All right. So here's the deal. I had them pulled up because Big Web was asking about it. Then we got into some incentive talk, so I didn't want to throw us off of that. So it's fairly simple in the NFC. All of the teams except for the Bucks and Falcons are locked in, at least to the playoffs. Bucks get in with the win, and it's pretty simple. Bucks are winning in as the 4 seed. If they lose and the Falcons win, then the Falcons win the division.
Okay.
Because Falcons beat them twice in the regular season, so they have tiebreakers. So Bucks have to remain a game ahead. They are 9-7 right now. Falcons are 8-8. So all they got to do is win against the Panthers. Or no, it's Saints at home. We were just talking about it. If they win that game, they're in. So fairly straightforward for the NFC. The only seeding implications on the line: Packers can get to the 6th seed with a win over the Bears and a Washington Commanders loss to the Dallas Cowboys. Otherwise, Commanders are the 6. Packers are the 7 because the Commanders have tiebreaker over Green Bay. AFC, it's a little more complicated, but most of the teams there are at least locked into a playoff berth. You have some interesting things with the teams fighting for that last spot because it's the Broncos, Bengals, and Dolphins fighting for that 7 seed, and they're like the Broncos are playing the Chiefs, but the Carson Wentz Chiefs at home. So they're 10.5-point favorites, while the Bengals had to play the Steelers who played everybody. And they lost that game, right? That was last night.
The Bengals won by 2. Yeah.
Bengals won that game by 2. And then the Dolphins have to play the Jets. So here's the deal. The Broncos have the easiest path. They win, they're in, and they get the 7 seed. Or if they win and Cincinnati loses and like the Dolphins lose, they can still get in. The Dolphins are in if Denver wins if they win against the Jets and Denver loses. Sorry about that.
So Denver, pretty much. What happens how do the Bengals get in? The Bengals need the Dolphins the Dolphins and the Broncos to lose? Correct?
Yeah, they need the most help. So that's what I was getting to next. They already have a win, so they've done their part. They need a Denver loss, and they need a Miami loss. Okay. So they need both the Jets and the Carson Wentz Chiefs to get a win.
It is possible because my thing is, I was talking to Big Web about this. I don't know if this really is a thing now that the Chiefs are the number 1 seed. They're resting everybody. Do they really care that it's a division foe that could get in the playoffs? Like we could bounce them out. Like, do they really care if the Broncos are in? So like, I don't know if they'll play up to them. Probably not. But it's also the Broncos.
But Wentz has to prove himself a bit. You know what I mean? He's trying to get another job next year. It all depends how many receivers and such, linemen, whatever, that Andy's going to rest. Sounds like he's got Travis, he's got Patrick, and he's got Jones that are all sitting out for sure.
Are all the receivers in? So D-Hop, Hollywood Brown, Juju, and Worthy, are they all playing?
I can look it up.
Has incentives. D-Hop needs incentives too. He's got a chance for some money.
See, I would rest D-Hop being an older veteran player. By the way, one last point on the AFC. So that's the teams that get in. Chargers are playing their starters today because if they beat the Raiders, they lock up the 5 seed. I think there's a scenario they can drop to like 6 if they don't take care of business against the Raiders.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's good. I mean, look, as a football... So go ahead, Ace. Sorry.
I think the Chiefs also would rather have the Broncos in the playoffs than having the Bengals in there. And I mean, if the Bengals upset the Bills, now you got to play the Bengals. Nobody wants the Bengals in there. The Bills don't want to have to play the Bengals in the first round. Nobody wants to have to play Joe Burrow and the Bengals. As
a fan of the NFC, an NFC team, I would love the Bengals to be in as a football fan. It would make it way more interesting because they're just, I mean.
Yeah, you feel like they could win.
They could go on a run. I mean, it's like, it could be an amazing story. Burrow's thrown, 44 touchdowns or whatever? He said he's the first. Is it the first quarterback to throw over 40 touchdowns and not make the playoffs or something, or a chance?
He deserves to be the MVP, in my opinion.
He is.
If I had a vote, that's who I'd vote for.
The crazy thing with them is he leads the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns. Jamar Chase is a triple crown receiver this year.
Yeah.
And they might not be in the playoff.
They don't start playing football.
The league in sacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't start playing football till October every year. Kind of a tough way to be very successful.
I'll tell you what, yesterday their defense was playing ball too. I mean, I don't know if it was that smaller gentleman, Russell Wilson, that wasn't doing anything, but they were getting pressure on him.
Well, Pickens surely didn't help him yesterday with all his drops.
Big Web, question for you. Has Russell Wilson reached pipsqueak status?
He used
Clip
to be
that.
the one and only Pipsqueak, but now he's a smaller gentleman because I can't tell him any other words.
He's lost 4 in a row, that smaller gentleman, I believe, right? 4 in a row.
Right. And that taller gentleman keeps dropping passes over there, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Steelers are, I mean, they're going crazy about the field stuff now. I'm like, it's kind of, like I said, it's hindsight. Like, Russ did a great job after the change in quarterback, but now you got a 4-game losing streak. Like, they're going in the playoffs, lost the division. Yeah, Steelers. I don't expect much from them either in the AFC playoff picture, really. So it's a lot of interesting scenarios. Not a ton. I think this is one of those years that I feel like there's way more chaos in Week 18. But the fact that you have the big storyline with Lions and Vikings kind of anchoring this week kind of makes it feel like it is the same every year. Like this is, it doesn't matter that there's only it's Bengals, Broncos, Dolphins. And then it's basically Lions-Vikings. But Lions-Vikings is so massive that it's just everybody's pumped up about it. It's going to be interesting. And these playoffs, I was looking at the bracket a little bit. We can talk more about this next week when we actually have playoff matchups. But there's a couple teams, and the one team I will say I'm really worried about on the NFC side, I said it last year because it was a fight, is the Rams. The Rams always worry me because Stafford is smart, and he's got so many great weapons, and McVay's an amazing coach. Like that, they worry the shit out of me, Zook. I have any team in the NFC. Like, they really do. I don't know.
I don't know why, like, from a Packers side, like, I didn't really care about having to face them so much. I don't know why. I just feel like the Packers seem to match up well with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they are scary because when they get the receivers going, when they're healthy, and now that they've got these young guys, I mean, how many rookies are just real contributors? And the Kelly Witherspoon guy they got from the Niners is like a number 1 corner now and like a bona fide, like a true number 1. And, I think it's like, which Stafford are you going to get always?
Right.
It seems like if you can just kind of put some pressure on them, like Kyron Williams has taken a nosedive in efficiency. Their run game's not that good. So, like, I think you guys would be fine. In fact, I think I would take Lions up to a touchdown or like 7.5 points in that matchup.
My thing is, like, I think of Stafford, and maybe it's because I watched him when he was with Detroit a lot, but like I get a vibe that the more you play him, the more he's gonna figure you out, and like that's what worries me about him because they've. Last year in the playoffs, like that game was so close. Like he kind of controlled the game, and the Rams made the kind of the comeback at the end, and it was just way too close, but it's what I expected. Like, I don't know. Something tells me just I want them to completely drop off so I don't have to worry about him anymore because it's just I think he's going to figure them out at some point. But anyway, might not even worry about him. It's just that's the team.
Former quarterback of your franchise too, right? Like I can tell you this, like even if you put this current disgusting Jets team up against the Packers, I'd be a little worried.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because Rodgers.
The line currently on the hypothetical matchup of Lions at Rams, the Lions are -3 with an over-under of 55.5.
Oh, shit. That sounds about right, honestly. That's a 60-point game. I mean, Puka can't be stopped.
The Vikings would be -2.5 with an over-under of 47.5
I dropped 8 points. Holy shit!
I mean,
I guess their defense is better.
The Lions'
that's why.
defense has been giving up 40 points every game.
Yeah, it's basically a shootout. Like you take Lions overs right now because it's the perfect scenario for an over. They have a great offense and their defense can't stop anything. For good reason. Everybody's hurt, but wild, really wild. Zach says Lions need to win tonight for number 1 seed. Thank you, Zach. Let's see. A lot of Vikings fans in the chat. Go Bills. That's from Dirk. Kind of back and forth with a lot of Vikings and Lions fans here. It's awesome. Ty says, "How you feeling tonight? What's going on, Weber?" So I'm not nervous. Is not the word. I'm excited. I'm excited about the game. I think it's gonna be a field goal game. Really do. Either way. Yeah. It's. I don't know what defense we're gonna get tonight. I want to see Sam Darnold pressured, which hasn't happened, and especially hasn't happened with the injuries. And I'm worried about Jay Jettas having a monster night. That's what I'm worried about. Offense, I'm not even worried. It's about the defense. I want a Sam Darnold interception.
Get within 10 feet of Sam Darnold.
That's what I'm worried about. And I love that it's in Ford Field. They're wearing the alternate jerseys. It's going to be sick. Can't wait. The place is going to be rocking and rolling. It's on Sunday Night Football. I think Ben Johnson's got more tricks up his sleeve that he hasn't showed yet that he's going to have tonight. But it's got to work. It's all got to work. That's all I'm saying. Are you betting on the game? I mean, yeah, I'll bet Lions money line. I mean, come on. You got to put something on them. Come on. I might not. I might do a same game parlay, all Lions and Vikings unders. Like I do that a lot. Like if I'm rooting for one side, I'll take Jared Goff over passing. I'll take Darnold under passing. I'll take like just do a massive parlay where the Vikings do nothing and the Lions do everything for like $5. Something fun like that. See what happens.
Are the Vikings wearing the all whites, or what do they got on today?
I thought they were actually, which would be kind of cool to have like the alternate Lions jerseys and then the full white Minnesota Vikings kind of back and forth.
Color Rush Week 18. That's how you just can tell it's two beta franchises playing for it.
Because of Color Rush.
Yeah. What are we doing?
Oh, come on. These are so sick. You wouldn't wear these in a game, like a playoff game, to make the number 1 seed. Come on. Like
No. The black ones are cool.
You got to go with the black alternates.
Vikings are trying to be iced out.
The ice out against if you go the full black alternate unis and you go ice out on the other side, like come on, it is sick. Like that is sick. Would you rather have the Lions blues would have been nice, but the alternate, like you walk in and see these, like you're in for a fight.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, you know what would be cool? Did they tell the fans to black out the stadium?
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, if any other Lions fans in the chat
did they do that the first time?
I don't think they did. I wasn't paying attention.
Packers game you guys wore them?
Maybe, possibly. I got to restart TikTok here. Hold on a second.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no, I don't mind the black unis for Lions, and then it's like the Vikings just responding with their alternates to make it cool. I don't know, color rush in such a big game just feels wrong.
Yeah, that game doesn't need any help. Sam Darnold doesn't look cool in anything though.
Big Web, are you cooking up your best bet over there? What's going on?
Sure am.
What we got, Big Web?
All right, guys. So I'm telling you, like we got to feel good about this damn bet. Detroit money line, you're not going to argue with that. Seattle money line, I think they don't need anything, but they have incentive. Plus the Rams, it's more about the Rams resting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta money line, I know you don't like me betting Atlanta, but I'm telling you right now, they have to win this football game. Denver also has to win the game, -6.5. And Tampa, the other side of New Orleans, Tampa -6.5. That's a 5-teamer, pays 523 and puts us in the green for the year.
Let's go.
If we can hit this.
All right. You're going to count through playoffs too, right, when you do these?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely. And that's, if you want to look back on year after year after year, that's when Big Web shines as a playoffs right there.
That's right.
That is right. That has been proven before.
So Big Web, one more time, real fast, shotgun them for the audience.
So we have Atlanta. We have Tampa. Atlanta's money line. We have Tampa +6.5. I'm sorry, -6.5. We have Detroit money line, Seattle money line, and Denver -6.5. Those 5.
Okay. Don't hate it.
I don't hate it either.
5.3.
I don't hate it either.
It's reasonable.
Let's build our Hail Mary real quick, and then we'll get out of here for Week 18 and lock in as we get 20 minutes until kickoff. So all we do here is we go through every single game on the slate. There's 14 left this week. We pick only money line, and we majority rules. So if me and Zook and Ace all go with the Panthers, and Big Web goes with the Falcons, we take the Panthers. If we have a tie, because there's only 4 of us, Nick had to bail. Audience, you are the tiebreaker, so all you got to do is just put who you want in the chat. Here we go. Panthers at Falcons, boys.
Falcons.
All right. Commanders, Cowboys.
Commanders.
Yep, Commanders. Bears, Packers. I'm going to go with Bears. Just be a little interesting.
Packers.
Pack.
I knew that wasn't going to happen. Texans, Titans.
Good try.
Texans for sure, even with Mills.
Texans.
Okay.
Jags, Colts. I'm going to go with the Jags.
I'm going to go Colts.
Jags.
What'd you say, Ace?
I didn't. Jags, Colts. I'm going to go with the Colts.
All right, so we got a tiebreaker. Audience, let's see. Jaguars, Colts. Put it in the chat. First of 3 votes we'll get the vote. We got 1 for Jacksonville. That's Ty. We need 2 more people to say Jags. There's Michael that says Colts. So we're 1-1. Again, first 3 votes will decide what we do for our Hail Mary parlay, Jacksonville and Indy. Another one for Colts. 2-1 Colts. Looking for 1 more Colts vote. Hopefully not, because I hate them. How about Jacksonville out there in the chat? And Tim says Colts. Colts it is. Son of a bitch.
All right.
Bills, Pats.
Well, that's funny because you know how it would have went if Nick was here.
Exactly.
100% would have been Jackson. We should have given him a proxy for this. Bills, Patriots.
New England.
Bills.
Oh. I'm gonna go Pats as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
New
plus
England's
money,
trying
boys.
to win the game.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Buffalo's not trying to win the game.
Wait. I'm gonna change it because the Pats get the number 1 pick if they lose, right?
They don't. Yeah, but Gerard Mayo, I saw a thing today. He's probably getting fired after this game. Like, they don't care about that. Drake
All right.
May is trying to get better.
All right, fine.
Buffalo
Give me the
does
Patriots.
not care about winning the game.
Fine. I guess they don't want Travis Hunter. Give me the Patriots. Giants, Eagles.
Nobody.
Giants.
Eagle.
Kenny Pickett starting, I guess? Or is it the
Eagles.
3rd string guy?
McKee. I think it's McKee.
The 6'6" dude.
All right, I'll take the
I'll
Eagles.
take Drew Lock and the Giants.
So we got 3 Eagles. I think we're good. Saints, Bucks. Oh, my God.
Bucks.
It shouldn't even count. Do you want to know what their odds are for money line?
Minus 1,400.
Minus 1350.
No kidding.
Minus
oh my
1350. Jesus. My God. Kansas City Chiefs.
Lose.
Broncos. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. Even with the backups.
That's fine.
Broncos.
I'm with that. Chiefs.
Wow. Big Web.
Broncos.
Ace.
Denver.
All right, let's see in the chat. Chiefs, Broncos, money line. Who wins today? Ty says Broncos. It's 1. First to 3 votes for either team, Chiefs or Broncos.
Just scored 27 freaking points, Kansas City.
Breezy says Chiefs, 1-1. Broncos, Chiefs. We got 2-2. Next vote gets it. Broncos, Chiefs cover spread though. Okay, so Broncos it is. Damn it. All right. That was going to be fun. It was a plus 480 burger for us.
Denver's at home needing to win.
That doesn't mean anything. It's the Chiefs. It's Carson Wentz. Come on. Chargers, Raiders. Sorry, Raiders.
Chargers.
Seattle, Rams. I'll take Seattle on this one.
I'll take Seattle.
They're in, right? Like they're in the wild card already?
No.
Seahawks
are done.
Oh, they're done. Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of forgot they fell off the face of the earth. Dolphins, Jets. Aaron Rodgers' last game, probably. I'll take the Jets.
I'll take the Jets.
All right. Niners, Cardinals.
Cards.
Pip squeak.
Yes.
All right, Arizona it is. And then Lions, Vikings. I got the Lions.
Lions.
All right, so we got the last, well, not the last one. We can do Hail Mary through at least the wild card and division rounds. I mean, it won't be as much, but we can maybe up it to $5 and have some fun. Here's what we got. 14-leg parlay. We have the Atlanta Falcons, Washington Commanders, Green Bay Packers, Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, New England Patriots, Philadelphia Eagles, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Denver Broncos, Los Angeles Chargers, Seattle Seahawks, New York Jets, Arizona Cardinals, Detroit Lions. I'll go one more time and say it really slow. Falcons, Commanders, Packers, Texans, Colts, Patriots, Eagles, Bucks, Broncos, Chargers, Seahawks, Jets, Cardinals, Lions. 14-leg parlay, 26-8-11. That's $1 to pay $268. There you go.
Not the best odds.
Not the best, not the worst. I think our biggest was like 800. Our smallest was 92, which is we'll get a minus 1350 burger in there and still have almost $300. So I'll take that.
No, that's not bad.
Not too bad. All right, boys. Any last minute thoughts before we wrap it up?
Yes, sir. Guys, remember, don't bet the house, bet the doghouse. And when it's snowing outside, bring that little fucker in.
There you go, Zook.
I don't have anything for that.
Ace.
Yeah, we can't follow that up.
All right, guys, that'll do it. Thank you so much for tuning in all season long. Remember, we will be back for the playoffs, so make sure you subscribe on YouTube. WeberBets.com is where you can find all our channels and links. You can follow the From the 50 page. If you scroll down, you can find our links to YouTube, but also subscribe here on TikTok. We are live every single Sunday during the NFL season. We've been doing this for 6 years. Going to continue to do it through playoffs. Cannot wait. Go Lions. Go all Lions fans out there. Let's have a fucking night. Good luck this week in your parlays as well, and we'll talk to you next week. See you later.